ठीक ठीक Voltaire is famous for having said a wonderful thing. If the audience is hungry, the speaker should be brief. Now, he didn't say anything about the speaker being hungry himself. So, I assure you, we will keep to time and we will stop. आइए please तशरीफ रखें. आइए आगे बैठें. Welcome. जी जरा पीछे के लोग जो लोग के वर्कशॉप में आना चाहते हैं जरा सा तशरीफ लाएं बैठे बेशक सेल्फीज लें घट वॉल्यूम में All right. Our agenda is three things and we will explore this sentence today. First, the future is now. Another sentence to worry about is this. The future is not what it was. I love this sentence because it captures all three modes of time right here. The future is not what it was. Was is the past. This is very interesting. आइए जी क्या मफ़हूम लेंगे इसका तशरीफ रखें प्लीज़ तशरीफ रखें बैठ जाओ बेटा राइट ओके थैंक यू In 1950, people thought about the future, the year 2000, 50 years later. In 1950, people thought about the future in one way. But today, we don't think about 50 years anymore. In fact, we don't even think about 5 years anymore. We think very differently. The future is not what it was. Once upon a time, Pakistan government used to publish 5-year plans. We now no longer have 5-year plans. I just happened to see a series of books called Hacking Education. And the opening sentence is hacking education, hacking assessment, hacking leadership, school leadership, hacking engagement, student. There's a whole series of books out. भाई आप लोग जो लोग के वर्कशॉप में हैं कागज़ कलम मोबाइल स्मार्टफोन कुछ रेडी रखें और गुफ्तगू के अंदर में जो नाम वेबसाइट किताबों के नाम हवाले मैं बताता जाऊँ इफाका होगा I do many things and I do them with some panache and speed. So साथ नोट भी करते जाए आपका मतलब you'll be able to follow up the conversation later. आइए जी please be seated तशरीफ रखें इस पास से आ जाएं आगे आ जाएं. Right, thank you. Okay, so the future is not what it was. You'll be very surprised in the year 1860, a group of geniuses, planners, architects, and other people were invited in the New York City to speak about the future of the New York City in the year 1960. In 1860, a group of people who were involved in city planning, they were academics, architects, designers, or whoever, and they had this gathering and they were asked to discuss the future in 1860 about New York in the year 1960, 100 years later. And you'll be very surprised, this is what they said. This is what they said. City planners in 1860 actually said that there will be no New York City in the year 1960. And why do you think they said that? They said that because in 1860, the number of horses in the city of New York were so many. And horses, amongst other things, shit. So the manure took so much labor to move from one place to another that the city father said, if the population rises from 1860, the number of people, therefore the number of horses, therefore the number of horse carriages and the movement, the manure will be so much that there will be no city of New York at all. What they couldn't have known was, 40 years later, the motor car was invented. It just changed the whole game. So the speed of invention changes the nature of the future. So the speed of invention is so much today that we don't even plan for 5 years. I was going to mention this thing about the hacking books. It says right in the beginning that teachers don't have time now to learn plans which are applicable a year or two down. So every chapter in the book has a section called What You Can Do Tomorrow. So it speaks about loads of clever ideas, and then it says, what can you do tomorrow? And that is the kind of world we are in. The future is not what it was. ये कुछ गुफ्तगू समझ आ रही है आप लोगों को? हेलो?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
लोग सब जाग रहे हैं?
Yes.
Yes, अभी कैलूले का वक्त खाने के बाद हुआ करता है. So, okay. अगर के आप लोग तारुफ कराएंगे, I have in my agenda 3 items. Those who just joined, I'll just look at this. Our agenda for today is this: the future, the children, and teaching. I'll be talking about these 3 things. And we've just done this much. The future is not what it was. In the process, I'll be showing you films and other things so that we'll be able to get it right now. The future is now. At the end of this workshop, I would like you to take away, like, what is the takeaway that I would like you to take? I would like you to take an attitude. I would like you to take an attitude, एक रवैया, एक सोच कि 2017 में वो नहीं चलेगा जो 1960 में चला, या 1990 में चला, या सन 2000 में चला. और वो बच्चे जो मेरी क्लास में हैं आज, उनके साथ में वो न करूं जो मुझसे किया गया, इसलिए कि उसका कोई फायदा नहीं. ये that's the thought I want us to leave with. और मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि उसके साथ हम लोग कुछ बात कर सकें. Is that okay? Hello?
Yes.
हाँ, okay. मैं यस सुनूंगा, उससे पता चला लोग जाग रहे हैं. Okay? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? अच्छा, आइए जी, हम एक वीडियो देखेंगे. ले लीजिएगा भाई वीडियोस की. Please watch. This is the year 2019. Watch. एक मिनट पॉज कीजिएगा सर. Alright. You will see. This is 2019. So this is 2017 already. Like it's nukkad pe. So it's about the time when one would say, "अच्छा जी, सानू बुड्ढे होंदे ने, इन्हां नूं निक्के बच्चों नूं वेखण सी." तो ऐ नहीं होना है. These things are around already. Everything that you will see in this film has already been invented. It's just a matter of scale. It's just a matter of when it will hit Karachi, and it will come very, very soon. Who knew? Who knew that the mobile phone, the smartphone would be in our hands 5 years ago? Who knew? And yet today, they have just changed the whole way we live. It's just changed. Who knew? Once upon a time, I remember, as maybe people my age, I don't need to reveal too much. I remember people having to go to the market to buy groceries and meat and milk. I remember getting up early morning and with a little container and going off to the milk shop and buying it. I don't remember my son doing it. Ever. The whole thing has changed. I now no longer go to the meat shop. Begum calls the ghost wala and says, "Sune, zara chaap ke na 2 kilo bhej dena, mehman aa rahe sham." And within like half an hour, the man is at the door. She pays, and so on. The point is, the world has changed. The question is, when will we change? The question is, the world will change, has changed, will continue. So what you're going to see in this film, you're going to see a coffee cup which has got the temperature outside of it saying it's fit for drinking. You will see, right at the beginning, a teacher sitting in a plane planning her lesson. You will see a boarding pass, which is amazing when she gets off the plane. You will see a person go to receive her at the airport, guided in a particular way. You will see. You will see a person read a newspaper, after which you will never need to buy or take any other newspaper. It's the material on which you'll see. And last, when it ends, you will see farming happening in a strange way. And that will be a surprise. right? I'm just giving you pointers to pay attention to. Enjoy. I will not comment or pause the film anymore. लीजिए थोड़ा म्यूजिक लगाओ यार, थोड़ी सी रोशनी कम की जा सकती है ताकि जरा लोगों को तवज्जो है. Farming on rooftops, isn't that a surprise? With urbanization growing like this, with tall buildings coming up, with the need for human habitation increasing with the population, farming too will have to go. Some of these are realities all around. And these things have already been invented. It's just a matter of when. And 2019, we are not talking about long ago. Friends, now my question is, this is the world where our children will be growing up into. Every 10-year-old today, or less, or more, is going to be living in this world. Question, what are we doing to prepare them for it? What are we doing to prepare them for it? And are we still going to say, copy mein kuch likha hi nahi tumne? Margin nahi draw ki tumne तारीख nahi likhna uppar. You see the problem? एक line छोड़ के लिखना था ना, तो cursive writing में. You see the problem? यानी जो हम लोगों के अंदर में क्या कहना चाहिए, कौमी दोगलापन जो है, एक national stupidity कह दीजिए छाई हुई है. We seem to be stuck on the past at a time when that is not the service to our children. We need to serve our children. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against values. I'm against practices. I'm against practices which are of no use anymore or will not be of any use anymore. That's what I'm asking. Therefore, should we give up everything? Not at all. Some things are eternally valid. कुछ सच्चाइयाँ हमेशा की यूजफुल हैं, उसके बारे में कब बहस? लेकिन हम उन चीज़ों की बात कर रहे हैं कि ये जो चीज़ें जो कि प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, पता नहीं कहीं से आई हैं, they need to go and release time for other things. ठीक, आइए देखते हैं. लीजिएगा. Sorry, मैंने it's here. Okay. Right. You see, many things can wait. A child cannot. Now is the time his bones are formed, his mind developed. To him we cannot say tomorrow. To him we cannot say tomorrow. Somebody read the rest.
His name is today.
His name is today. His name is today. जो वालिदैन ये चाहते हैं कि मेरे बच्चों के जहन में अच्छी यादें हों, वो आज छोटी सी बात सुन लें, वो दिन आज है. उन यादों के बनाने का दिन आज है. जो 20 साल बाद बच्चा एक दिन कहेगा, मम्मी याद है हम लोगों ने जब करोड़पति खेला था, फिर हमने यूं किया था, तो मैंने प्रॉपर्टी खरीद ली थी, तो उसमें किराया था, तो वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. बट दोस्तों, वो यादें होंगी तो ना. वो आज हम लोग गेम्स खेलेंगे, आज हम बच्चों के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे, आज हम वो डब्बे को बंद करेंगे, आज हम ब्रेकिंग न्यूज से थोड़ी देर ब्रेक लेंगे. जैसे कि तमाम ब्रेकिंग न्यूज तो हमारी इजाजत से हो रही है. तो जोक हेलो, वेक अप. जैसे कि तमाम दुनिया की चीजें, मुल्क की चीजें, सियासी चीजें, मौसम के हालात, कत्लो गारत, मार धाड़, ये तमाम आपके कहने से हो रही है, और अगर आपको नापसंद है तो रुक जाएंगे. अरे बाबा, हर वक्त खुला रखना कोई कमाल की बात नहीं. हर वक्त टेलीविजन को खुला रखना कोई कमाल की बात नहीं है. वो लोग जिनको मैंने पूछा बहुत से लोगों से कि अगर टेलीविजन घर पे हर वक्त खुला है तो क्यों खुला है, तो बड़े अजीब बेहुदा और बेसूद जवाब दिए लोगों ने. एक ने कहा थोड़ी रौनक लगी रहती है. बहुत खूब. कुछ ने कहा सर वो खबरें जो पता करनी. मैंने कहा जी बिल्कुल, बहुत खूब. फिर तुम रोते हो, चिल्लाते हो कि पढ़ने का टाइम नहीं. फिर तुम कहते हो नहीं ना, रीडिंग के लिए टाइम कहाँ है. बाबा वो दिन तो 24 घंटे ही थे. टेलीविजन के बारे में एक अच्छी बात किसी ने कही, द मोर यू सिट द मोर यू वांट टू सिट. आप आधा घंटे का प्रोग्राम देखेंगे, आपकी लत लग जाएगी 1 घंटे की. आप 1 घंटे का प्रोग्राम देखते हैं, आपकी लत लग जाएगी 2 घंटे हो जाएंगे. TV is one of those terrible things which is addictive. It makes you sit and makes you want to sit more and more and more. So shut the damn thing off and create silence in the house so that there is some thinking, and create time and space for conversation and words and for discussions. That is the service you do. That. Lekin we live in a strange world and we think as if listening to the people like Mubashir Lukman, like Abbas Hussain, like as if unless we hear them, जैसे हामिद मीर मुल्क के ऊपर ताला लगा करके वो छोड़ देते हैं, ऐसा लग रहा बस रात होगी, पता नहीं सुबह मुल्क होगा कि नहीं होगा, बस दरवाजा बंद करके लगा करके वो सो जाते, कहते हैं हाय बस. Friends, we are in some cloud cuckoo land. These things sap away our time and our creativity and our energy, and that is what we need to really, really seriously look at. Watch the best, but don't keep it open all the time. Watch the best. I don't mean HBO. That's only the best. Never mind. That's it. Okay. His name is today. So, what exactly are the 21st century skills, and why should we worry about them? Now, I had in mind strategy and an activity. I noticed, remembering Voltaire, that when people are hungry, the speaker should be brief. All right. So, by the Muntazmin, by the office bearers here, how much time do I have, Chief? Please, मुझे ज़रा cut off time दे दीजिएगा. I'll stop exactly then. 2:10, done. 2:10 it is. But don't mind. You won't need to remind me. I'll go on. Okay, fine. So 21st century skills are these. आज सुबह से हम लोग फिल्म्स देख रहे हैं, 4 C's का तो जिक्र है. इन्होंने कहा नहीं जी 4 नहीं जी वो घट है, हम 8 देते हैं. All right. So here's them in a more delightful. Yeah, we know communication. Yeah, we know collaboration. Yeah, cultural diversity. I believe this is an all-time failure in us as a people. Cultural diversity. Rumana Hussain was talking about her trip to Mithi. Mithi is hardly 2 hours from here. And yet, when you go there, it seems you've gone several centuries. I have been to Tandolayar, I have been to Matiari, I have been to Sanghar, I have been to parts of Pakistan. And you soon realize we seem to be in some kind of a bubble. We seem to be in this safe space. We think कि नहीं जी पता नहीं वहाँ तो क्या है, बस इधर ही. 1 minute. Friends, cultural diversity. If we do not have the largeness of heart to bring our own people forward, if we do not raise our hand in friendship and support to lift the people who are there, friends, we will be done away with. We will be done away with. डॉक्टर इरफान हैदर से गुफ्तगू में एक अच्छी बात कही उन्होंने कि आई रोबोट जो 2035 में आने वाले हैं, अकॉर्डिंग टू एस्को, वो इंसानों को देख करके कहेंगे इन लोगों को ही ख़त्म कर दो, यही बीच में आते हैं. It's a joke on the whole thing. When technology will recognize that we are so stupid, then let us just wipe away humanity and be done with it so that we will have this planet in. It's a very powerful way of thinking. What exactly are we doing and why are we doing it? So these are the 20th century skills. In a different scenario, the program was that I would be getting you into groups to decide which of these and what other strategies to be going with. I think we'll quickly cut that down. MashaAllah, you are smart people. And you have already noticed how smartphones are people taking pictures of these skills in this diagram. And that is all perhaps what you need to do, and I'll move on. Okay, you see, what we now need is a variety of ways of climbing the wall. We think that we have this barrier. We think that this barrier is. But then there are ways around it, and ways below it, and ways above it. So there is a way, and that is the whole point. We do. There is a movement. हम समझते नहीं ना कॉलेज में दाखला नहीं मिलेगा कि ये कैसे होगा. Okay, but as we heard this morning, when a child is 17 years old, must you do what you need to do at the age of 17, at the age of 7? It's a very good question. No, you don't. No, you don't. In fact, that is the great problem with parents. Parents want to put their child in a school and then say, बस ना अब 12वीं जमात तक की छुट्टी है. छुट्टी? Are you joking? Oh yes, of course they are. Well, yeah, but then it also shows a lack of hope. It also shows that things won't change, only what is present. Wait, oh, New York, 1860. There will be no New York in 1960. That's precisely the problem. True.
So that within years, several
Exactly. Well, yeah. Once upon a time, we used to think about going to Sabzi Mandi as a journey. And now we all live past Sabzi Mandi as if it's city center. In fact, that is the name of the building on the corner, city center. All right, fine. The shifts the new generation will bring. Again, since we are in a world of technology, let's see. Here are some of the words used for Generation Z or Generation Z. They are now 17 years old, children born in the year 2000. Want to do things on their own, smarter, more business savvy, etc., etc. Right.
Oh wait, well, okay.
5 years from now, Generation Z will make up 10% of the workforce. That's over 16 million employees. So who are they? What do they like to do? What don't they like to do?
What we are going to see in this very short, it's hardly 3 minutes. We people who are not in Generation Z, we digital immigrants, we who are still wondering about, I love mouse, we who talk like this, आप लोगों को लतीफ़ा सुनना तो मुश्किल लगता है बच्चों के साथ उन बच्चों के साथ डील कर रहे हैं जो जनरेशन Z या जनरेशन Z कहा जाता है ना हमारे जहनों में उनके बारे में कुछ मफरूजात हैं और बच्चे खुद कुछ और बात कहते हैं I like this film because it captures both of them. It captures the seniors/teachers saying things about what they believe about the children and the children themselves saying something else. Watch.
We found that not a lot of people had the answers to these questions. And we think it's because most people don't know that they don't know.
Do you know the age range of generations? 30 to 50.
22 to 42.
Since 2000.
I would say, I don't think I know this.
In regard to the workplace, what do you think the preferred method of communication is for Gen Zers?
Something electronic, email, I would imagine. Generally it would be social media.
Email, text message.
If they could text their resume, that would probably be an option too.
I'd rather speak face-to-face with someone.
Yeah, speaking face-to-face is the best way to get something through.
Talking to somebody face-to-face.
Do you think the Gen Zers would prefer to work from home or to go to a corporate environment?
I would imagine they would prefer to work from home.
Work from home.
Home.
I would like to go to a workplace. If you feel like you can do it at home, you take your time.
I think I'd rather go into the workplace. I think it's important to meet new people, do new things. I don't think it would be as efficient to work from home because there would be more distractions.
Which do you think Gen Zers consider more important? Career advancement opportunities or higher paying salaries?
I would think money.
Take compensation. Money. If I didn't say money already. Money.
Working with a group of people that all have the same goal.
Well, I think I would try to choose a job where I'm more passionate because if you like what you do, then you'll probably be better at it anyway. The people around me to be just as devoted. I'd rather be happy and like what I do instead of just getting a job that is the highest pay salary.
With regard to work habits and overall goal of the workplace, what are a few words you use to describe Gen Zers?
They don't want to work for.
Entitled.
And shiftless and unmotivated. Not being prepared, not being self-sufficient.
I'm determined and I'm a hard worker, creative, helpful.
We know how to use technology.
Devoted, hardworking,
Team-oriented.
and hardworking.
Nobody knows Gen Z. So what? Well, with 10,000 baby boomers reaching retirement age every day, smart employers are devising plans to attract, engage, and retain Generation Z's best and brightest.
I do think that they are very motivated and they want to do well. They look for college, they ask lots of questions about going to college, so they really are very motivated and much more than I thought they would be when I first started teaching.
So, what's your Generation Z hiring strategy? Find out what it takes to onboard tomorrow's talent. Visit ronstadusa.com/Gen Z and learn how.
Okay. Surprised? Surprised?
Yes.
Not surprised. Okay. Somebody is not surprised. Thank you. Good. Exactly. हम कुछ मफरूजों पे काम करते हैं. हम समझते हैं ये ऐसे. Exactly. But when we actually ask, when we actually find out, we find certainly we can't generalize these things. Certainly there are some children who are extremely entitled or feel they are entitled, of course. But then again, so are adults. It is not the children who think only they are entitled. Adults too. And some people from some parts of the world consider themselves more entitled than anyone else. The place is called Lahore and their institution is called HSM. My God. Pata nahi. I don't know this. I thought that was a brilliant connection of Karachiites lording it over Lahore and HSM. So the point is, these are our children. So as I said, I'll be talking three things in my theme today. Teachers, I said the future, the children, that's a little bit about the children, and now teachers. Go on. Sorry, yeah. So what is it that we need to do? We need to include. Inclusion, good definition there. You all can read better than me and faster. Inclusion actually is this. We begin with migration. Societies migrate and we shift people. Then we pay attention to differences, and then we finally do inclusion. I like this gradual change in the way in which we perceive things. In the beginning, we want to integrate the migrants who come in. In Pakistan, 1950s, we had loads of people coming from all over, particularly India. We needed to have a school system which took them in. And we needed to have the Pak Sarzameen in the early morning. We needed to have national integrity. We needed to have the national anthem. Now, 70 years later, this is my question. What must the school assembly be like? Must it still be like the way it was in 1950s? Must we still do the national anthem every day? Is there a way we can turn the assembly time into learning time? These are big questions. These are questions I would like you to leave with, because that is the direction we are going. Once upon a time we needed national integrity. Now we have it. Can we now take the next step? Those are the kinds of questions, right? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So, all right. Why do we need to do this? This is it. As society gets more and more complex, we need to have strategies to deal with more and more complexity. I have here a handout. आप सबकी नजर लीजिएगा. Come on. Distribute these. एक set लीजिए. Take one, pass the rest. Take one, pass the rest. What should teachers be capable of doing? Give a whole set of people. They will just take one, pass the rest. Give a whole set over here. Thank you. Good. Really fast. Udhar पीछे पीछे. Thank you. Take one, pass the rest. Thank you. Yes. Yes. This, in my opinion, are the skills which a teacher needs to have. Yes, please. नहीं एक न दो, सब दे दो. हाँ, give all. Take some, pass the rest. Yes. Give more. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here you go. Yeah. बहुत है जी, बहुत है. Lots of लीजिएगा. Take this paper with you. You have nothing else to do today after lunch. Read this and you'll be able to see the kinds of skills a teacher needs to have in order to be in an inclusive classroom in the 21st century to serve the children. I thought if you were to take a piece of paper with you, जुमला और बातें जो आपको याद रहेंगी, some of my corny jokes, I think this paper will be more useful. Okay, right. The question is, here is the question. Children, when they sit before the television screen and they are watching some of the finest intelligent people tell them through advertisements all sorts of clever things, how can a teacher compete for attention to children who are so stimulated when they are before the TV that they come into the classroom and are bored already within the first 5 minutes? What can we do to change that? What can we do? We can't turn the classroom into another TV. So what do we need to balance it? And those are the kinds of questions. So we need to know, and we need to have some strategies. As I said, normally I do 3-hour workshops, but you people are super learners anyway. So
Yes,
we'll
we
do
are.
it in the next 6 minutes. All right. Here we go. There are three main areas where skills a teacher needs. They are technical skills, facilitation skills, and managerial skills. That's the paper you've got. ये तीन की तकसीम आपके कागज पर है और ये तीन चीजें जानना जरूरी है. I began this morning in the panel discussion by simply saying the slogan of the city school is I am to learn. That's what it says. I am to learn. That's what it says. Do you see that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Well, there you go. Yes. Is this I am to learn applicable only to students? This is it. This, I believe it is for everyone. I believe it is for everyone. I now am extremely inspired by a thinker, Peter Senge, S-E-N-G-E. Peter Senge. Sorry? I know, but there is something called Amazon.com and there is something called the Visa card. Yeah. He's done a book called Schools That Learn. जो लोग लिख रहे हैं, Schools That Learn. और आगे .com डाल दे, it's a website as well. So schools that learn. Now we are so busy having schools that teach. See, there's a distinction. We are so busy having schools that teach that Peter Senge says, let's have a school that learns. Right. Schoolsthatlearn.com is a website, and I urge you, when you have a moment after, that is, you read this paper, after lunch when you got that, take a look at it. There is a whole chapter from that book given free, and of course, what other people have said about it. It's a whole website on that. So, schoolsthatlearn.com. If you go there, you'll be able to find it. These are the three kinds of skills teachers need. I'll only comment on one or two, and I will like to conclude for today. Technical skills. Now, this means that teachers must know writing, typing, and word processing, of course. That's quite basic. Electronic presentation. They must know PowerPoints and other things. I mean, these are basics. And now new things have started coming. Prezis out, other things. Exactly. Web navigation and search. Yes. File management. How do you remember? Over and over again in my organization, Teachers Development Center, I find people who are applying for jobs. And they send in their CVs. And what is the title on the CV? CV. The problem is, after I have downloaded 30 CVs, how the heck will I know which is which? So people should know how to title a cassette file before they send it, so that when the person has downloaded it, he's able to manage it. Well, same with assignments. I ask my students to submit electronic assignments, and I warn them. And I say, if you give me some fuzul title, it will go straight in the trash, and I'm simply not going to see it, because your web savviness demands elegance. And so does I value my time too. Right? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Some log jaag rahe hain? Yes. All right, fine. So much for that. We can go on and on. Right. Facilitation. Now we think that technology means the teacher should be absent and the computer should do the work. That's not true. You need even more human moment work to be able to work with it. Technology is simply a tool. It's simply a resource. As we heard Philip tell us, are you doctor? Okay. All right. Philip Hallworth told us about how the issue is not technology. The issue is not, as it were, going in obeisance to technology. It is using it as a resource, like any other resource that we use, for becoming a whole person. And there lies the whole trick of it. Okay, in facilitation, we need the teacher to know how to get the child into the learning process. How does that project begin? And to have enough self-worth and self-esteem for the child to get into it. Again, something which you can elaborate as much as you like. Appropriate questioning, listening, feedback. ये आपके handout के ऊपर सबको दिया गया है, उसमें ये सब चीजें लिखी हुई हैं. The ability to build online teams. That's interesting. The ability to build online teams. Promote active learning. Capacity for relationship building. Motivational skills. The issues now have changed. We no longer have a teacher with 36 children in the class, but we need to have a way by which technology actually allows us to see the uniqueness of each child and respond appropriately. Again, I will give this whole PowerPoint over to the City School Conference people, so those who log on may be able to download the entire PowerPoint containing loads of other stuff that I put on it. Okay, I move on. And it is not just facilitation. With the learning, you need to have managerial skills as well, such as you should know how to manage collaborative groups. You should have to have excellent time management. If you say to the children, as I do, your assignment should be in my inbox at 12 midnight on the 18th of March 2017, it just solves my problem. For either it is in or it is not. And I say to them, since you have been already told this on the 1st of January 2017, don't you bother even sending the assignment if it is late. Just forget it. For only when we have deadlines like that will we have responsibility and taking ownership and doing it seriously. Right. Managing online student disputes. Oh dear, that's a good one. We won't get there in a hurry. We have enough to deal with the offline disputes. But of course, the hint here is on cyberbullying and on other things. Knowing institutional procedures and policies. Of course, every organization soon will have institutional policies, and these are deeper things regarding plagiarism, regarding copying and pasting other people's work, taking things from the Wikipedia and putting it on up there, and all those kinds of silly things. Now, we need to understand. I was present in a university where a child would always get A grade. But with me, he got C grade. And everybody was amazed. And it was because all the other teachers were totally far from the web. I wasn't. So I could see that he had copy-pasted stuff from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. So I said, my friend, you have got an A. Actually, it's not you. It's Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy that has got an A. You will only get a C for the comments you have sprinkled idhar-udhar. So, and there was a huge thing, but because he played on the ignorance of the children, of the teachers, he played on the ignorance of the teachers. And there is no forgiveness for teachers who remain more ignorant than their students. There is no forgiveness. There's a maafi nahi, bad news. We have to learn. It isn't just the children. We have to. Right. And that brings me to a conclusion. Right. There we go. Tale of two classrooms. The black is the traditional classroom. The teacher knows everything. The teacher asks the question. The mistakes are terrible. Mistakes are sad face. Kids listen. Everything is good, great. Loads of hocus pocus without any focus. Yeah? So, hocus pocus without any focus. Yeah? All right, fine. And on the other side, we have the classroom that we need. We need the teacher as learner. We need the teacher as learner. The teacher himself or herself. There's a good educationist who's made this sentence that when I hire teachers, I don't ask them what Google knows better. I don't ask them what Google knows better. Both. Your knowledge base and your hafza and your memory is irrelevant. And therefore, your ability to find valid information, your ability to see standard information, there lies the crunch. And that's what you need to do, etc. One sides, etc. And we stop here. 7 principles, etc., etc. Right. Isko freeze kar dein, and would like to, yes. Okay. We can go on and on. I would like to conclude with a gift, if you like, a personal pleasure. On the 8th of March, remember this year, 8th of March. Hello?
Yes, sir. International Women's Day.
What was it? Yes, International. God, look at it. Pata nahi ko aur baat hogi. International Women's Day. And in the name of, because this month is dedicated to that, and 18th of March is not too long later, I would like to conclude with a poem by a young woman who has dedicated it to her daughter. So in the name of all the parents who have daughters, okay, not yet, some, but all of us who are parents, father, daughters, and in the name of all mothers, because they are daughters anyway, I would like to conclude with this beautiful thing, and it will give us a sense of the direction of the future. If I had a daughter, the poem goes, if I had a daughter, what would I teach her? What would I do? And that, I believe, is as good a way of closing as anything else. Iske upar conclusion. Lena. Of course, everyone knows dead, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we are talking.
If I should have a daughter,
Okay.
instead of Mom, she's gonna call me Point B. Because that way she knows that no matter what happens, at least she can always find her way to me. And I'm gonna paint the solar systems on the backs of her hands. So she has to learn the entire universe before she can say, oh, I know that like the back of my hand. And she's gonna learn that this life will hit you hard in the face. Wait for you to get back up just so we can kick you in the stomach. But getting out of you is the only way to remind your lungs how much they like the taste of air. There is hurt here that cannot be fixed by band-aids or poetry. So the first time she realizes that Wonder Woman isn't coming, make sure she knows she doesn't have to wear the cape all by herself. Because no matter how wide you stretch your fingers, your hands will always be too small to catch all the pain you want to heal. Believe me, I've tried. And baby, I'll tell her, don't keep your nose up in the air like that. I know that trick. I've done it a million times. You're just smelling for smoke, so you can follow the trail back to a burning house so you can find the boy who lost everything in the fire to see if you can save him. Or else, find the boy who lit the fire in the first place to see if you can change him. But I know she will anyway, so instead, I'll always keep an extra supply of chocolate and rain boots nearby, because there is no heartbreak that chocolate can't fix. Okay, there's a few heartbreaks that chocolate can't fix, but that's what the rain boots are for, because rain will wash away everything if you let it. I want her to look at the world through the underside of a glass-bottom boat, to look through a microscope at the galaxies that exist on the pinpoint of a human mind, because that's the way my mom taught me, that there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. When you open your hands to catch, I'll wind up with only blisters and bruises. When you step out of the phone booth and try to fly, and the very people you want to save are the ones standing on your cape. When your boots will fill with rain and you'll be up to your knees in disappointment, and those are the very days you have all the more reason to say thank you. Because there's nothing more beautiful than the way the ocean refuses to stop kissing the shoreline, no matter how many times it's sent away. You will put the wind in winsome, lose some. You will put the star in starting over, and no matter how many landmines erupt in a minute, be sure your mind lands on the beauty of this funny place called life. And yes, on a scale from 1 to over-trusting, I am pretty damn naive. But I want her to know that this world is made out of sugar. It can crumble so easily, but don't be afraid to stick your tongue out and taste it. Baby, I'll tell her, remember your mama and your papa is a warrior, and you are the girl with small hands and big eyes who never stops asking for more. Remember that good things come in threes, and so do bad things.